maybe get some better stories. Maybe live a more interesting life. Guess what? If you live your entire life locked up in a little room, which sadly is a lot of the world the past 2 years, like, say that's you. Your entire life you're in this little room, you don't do much, you're just on your computer, you might just watch some YouTube videos. Like, it's a sad reality of a lot of people, by the way. It's the behind the scenes as they go to work, they go home, and they either watch movies, listen to music, go on YouTube, and pass out. Or scroll through social media, and that's their life. If that's your classic day in the life, it is very normal that content-wise, you're going to be pretty boring. Doesn't mean you have to be full boring if the vibe's there, but content-wise, yes, you will be boring because you're simply not living a very exciting life. Now, the first thing that I always hear when I say this is, well, Julian, it's expensive to live an exciting life. That there is social media conditioning. We think interesting, first thing that pops to mind is, oh, well, you need a nice car and I need to travel everywhere. I need to go like skydiving and all this stuff. No. Living an interesting life could be free. Living an interesting life, going on an adventure, lower the bar for what an adventure is. Going on an adventure could just be, no joke, walking outside your door, turning left and walking straight for 40 minutes, and then finding your way back. That's an adventure. Now guess what? You might be like, well, how is that an adventure? Who do you know who does that? Someone's like, well, me. Say next time you're in a conversation, like, oh, I ran out of things to say, which is insane, by the way. How do you run out of things to say in an interaction? You've lived X amount of years here alive. That's like an injustice to the world, an injustice to the universe, an injustice to God. It's like, I've been alive for X amount of years, and I have nothing to say about all those years. Really? Everything that happened to you, your childhood, all your experiences, and you have nothing to say? That is insanity. Okay? But say there's that moment you're like, oh, I don't really know what to say, and you tell the person, so yesterday I walked outside my place, I turned left, and I walked straight for 40 minutes. They're gonna be like, what? What did you do? And it's exciting, it's interesting, it's unique, that's an adventure. Do more of that. And guess what? Even in terms of travel, we think, oh, the best way to travel is I need the VIP the first class ticket, which, by the way, prices are insane now with the whole gas issue, like insane. But so first class is gone for most people. But say you wanted that. First class is the way. You know what's also even epic? Just booking the worst seat in the plane. The worst seat at the back next to the bathrooms. You're just smelling the shit as they come in and out, and you're just back there in your miserable little seat. That there can make, it can make for an epic story. Like, person number one, how was your flight? Oh, well, the first class was very comfortable. I had a very nice meal. I then lied down because the chair turns into a bed, and I slept the whole flight, and here I am, well rested. Oh, person number two. Oh, I was at the back next to the shitter, and there was a line, and it got clogged, and the person waiting in line, we started talking, and I learned about them, and there's this crazy story, and then my neighbor, and this, and I started talking to the flight attendants. That there is a much more interesting story. No? Funny enough, what you realize is that money is great. By all means, go make money, crush it, it does unlock a lot of doors. But for any of you who have achieved a certain amount of money, the number one thing I see in my more wealthy clients is there is a fantasizing about your earlier upcoming days, about simpler times. Where you're like, okay, now it's great that I've made it, but oh, when I was first starting out, oh, and you just kind of fantasize about that. And then people who are in that phase of starting out, they're like, I just want to get to the finish. I just want to make it. It's like, enjoy it. That's the adventure. For real. Money just makes things also a lot more comfortable. But comfortable doesn't necessarily mean adventure, does it? It means comfortable. Doesn't make for as crazy stories. My crazy stories, guess what? A lot of them you probably remember from videos are more often than not the earlier stories. Right? It's me, I'm originally from Switzerland, by the way, leaving Switzerland, moving to LA with nothing but like a few $1,000s, a suitcase and my guitar, arriving in LA. You probably remember also crazy stories where I was like homeless a couple times. I lived in this basement apartment where there are all these cockroaches. Anyone know that story? I hope so. They would lay eggs, by the way, in the USB ports of the computer, and little baby cockroaches would be crawling out on each side. Yeah, that was the time, like, for real, I was like super sick too. I was smoking, I was coughing, I was a bum. I was an actual bum. And I was so sick that I couldn't sleep, because if I lied down, I'd cough, so I couldn't sleep. So I had to stay awake until I was so tired that once I lied down, it would take less than 30 seconds to fall asleep, or I'd cough. So I was staying up, and I was so tired. My eyes were crying, and I was in the dark, and cockroaches were everywhere, and I was doing fan videos of Vampire Diaries because I couldn't think, and that's all I could do. Is in this insane. That there is an epic story. It didn't require any money. All of you can also be homeless. Go live with some cockroaches. You do need the computer for the eggs, though. But no, but that's also some crazy stories, right? Or even, going out. Like I've been to very crazy, exclusive parties with celebrities and stuff. But I also vividly remember going out in Lausanne, so it's Switzerland, French part, and being super broke, being young, and I'd go out and just be crazy, and I'd pour like Red Bull in my hair, and that was my gel. Like I'd do my hair with Red Bull, and just do crazy. Like that. They are adventures, right? In 2015 as well, I did this crazy tour where I purposely did it low budget. I did super low budget. Anyone at that tour, by the way? We did do Amsterdam, 2015. Yeah. You're like, yeah. Remember the date? I don't. No, it was a tour where it was me and a couple friends. And we did super low budgets. We were staying in hotels and motels. That's it. Motels in America, some are so sketchy and ghetto. There was some where we'd arrive and you'd see the door wouldn't really lock from the time it was kicked in. There was like dried up blood in the bathroom walls. Bed bugs everywhere. So you never dare sleep in the beds because you'll get bit. So we all had sleeping bags on top of the beds. And a lot of those motels, they use them for prostitutes and drug addicts. So a lot of the rooms are rented out, and you'll see the pimp outside. Then you'll see people doing meth in the corner. And here we're arriving with like $30,000 of camera gear, and we're just like, we're staying here. So that was the tour. Guess what? Just this little bit here, that's an interesting story. What if I was like, oh, on that tour, I went to the Ritz, a very nice hotel. Comfortable. You're like, cool story. You're like, I want to know more about the bloodied motel.
We're in Louisiana here. Just left New Orleans, and we're to Shreveport right now. And, gas station stop, get some nuts up in here, some fucking nuts, real nice. Just taking it chill, man. Fucking first time we're driving without a huge hurry. Not in a hurry, first time fucking ever. And I can't drop the second accent. Cover up the dirtiness.
That shit failed.
Italian shower.
Oh my god.
Italian shower.
It's called Mexican shower.
Mexican
by the way.
shower.
It's called French shower.
Ugh. Oh, dude, I smell like a new person.
My hair is so fucked too. Thank God looks don't matter, as they say.
I mean... You stretch that term, dude. You stretch it.
I'm out of underwear. Just saying.
For how many days have you been?
I don't know, this one probably like 6.
The same pair of underpants.
Yeah, but I kind of rotate them, you see. You don't wear them all the way through the 6 days. So you have like a couple. And you just go one day one, actually switch it, and then you go back to the same one that was the day before, and you're fine.
That is the grossest thing I've heard.
Serious?
In a long time.
And what I wanted to talk about, and this has been on my mind for a while.
Yes. The fountain will be shut down for at least 3 hours due to the fecal incident.
Hey, how's it going, man? Good.
So I think we're at the border of Romania and Bulgaria, about to enter Bulgaria, and the train stopped, and what was pulling us just detached and left. So our, train wagon is just dropped off here in the middle of nowhere. If you look outside the window, there's a bunch of wild dogs eating trash. And then if you look to either side, like if you look to the right or left, it's really like middle of nowhere. Yeah, like there's nothing. Who knows where we are?
We didn't even stay in hotels sometimes. There were some cities where I'd ask, I'm like, hey, can anyone host us? There was a guy in Lithuania, great guy. So he offered to host us, and it was me, my friend, and Sam, if any of you remember Sam, Australian guy, really cool guy. And we arrive at this guy's place, super nice, like, oh, here's the bed and stuff. He's like, Julien, you'll sleep in the bed. And then he had a couch, and that was it. So I was gonna take the bed, camera guy was gonna take the couch, and Sam was like, you know what, I'll take the floor, I don't care, I can sleep anywhere. So great. And the guy's like, oh, I'm going to go shower. I'm like, okay. Sam then walks around and he comes back. He's like, guys, come here. And we're just like, what? Come on. There's no other bed. We're like, what do you mean there's no other bed? This is it. So the guy comes back, and I literally think, yeah, he showered. He comes back in. I'm like, so, dude, where are you sleeping? He's like, well, in the bed with you, Julien. What do you think? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to take the couch. And then my camera guy's like, I'm going to take the floor then. And then he's like, no. It's ridiculous that two of you are on the floor. Someone get in the bed with me. And it was just like, so like, no, it's fine. And then, so we all go to bed, and it's like 1 a.m., midnight 30, 1 a.m., it's dark, and literally passed out or about to pass out. And suddenly we see this light, and it's him opening his computer on his bed. So again, we're tired, we have an event the next day, he opens his computer, so there's a bright light, and suddenly we all hear, previously on Prison Break. And he's watching this old Prison Break episode that finally got available in Lithuania. And it's so loud, and we're just like, we gotta get out of here. So I'm texting my booker manager. I'm like, get us a hotel. I know I said we do low budget. We need a hotel. And then it was so awkward, so we're like, okay. I texted the other guys, we're gonna stand up in 3 seconds. We're gonna pack. We're gonna go. Just go, okay? So it's like 3, 2, so again, he's just watching Prison Break, it's dark, and at 3 seconds, we're all at the same time, stand up, quickly packing our stuff. He's like, where are you guys going? Someone in the bed? We're like, no, dude, we got a hotel, we're good, we'll see you tomorrow, and that was it. So that story there wouldn't have happened if it was a fancy hotel. So go seek out those adventures. And guess what? Invest, this is the key sentence, invest in experiences over stuff. And comfort doesn't always make for the best experiences. You do that, you will be the most interesting person around. For real. You have all the stories, you'll never run out of stories, and they'll be crazier than the next. And not just that, but one habit, which I haven't done the first part of my life, but I'm doing more now, is write them down, because you will forget them. You'll be shocked how much of your life you'll forget. Which, by the way, anyone going through a hard time right now, you're going to forget about it. Like this moment, if you're sitting here or if you're watching this, and in this moment you're like, everything's crumbling, my life is over, you're going to forget about it. You'll even forget about the best moments of your life. All of you already have. Times where you were so excited and you're like, yes, you already forgot about it. It can actually be pretty depressing. You kind of reflect, you're like, well, what's the point of life if you forget about most of it anyway, right? So do write them down, and now you have this infinite amount of stories. Seek them out. Doesn't require a lot of money.